This is Russ, and I'm here for your NFL Week 6 recap, and I am finally caught up on all these videos. Hopefully I can stay caught up on them and give you guys these videos regularly. Usually we don't typically fall behind and stuff like this. It's completely on me, as I've explained in the other two videos, and I'm done explaining it now, I promise. But let's get right into it. Week 6 of the NFL season started on Thursday night with the Kansas City Chiefs defense holding the Denver Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson to under 100 yards passing. One of the few times Russell Wilson has been held to that many yards passing in a game that would wind up a 19-8 victory for the Kansas City Chiefs at home. And the Chiefs extend their winning streak over the Broncos to 15 straight games, I believe now. The Baltimore Ravens and Tennessee Titans held their game for the season's final game from London. Kicker Justin Tucker was the MVP in this one, who was very solid in his department of the game. He kicked 6 field goals to help the Ravens improve to 4-2 on the season with a 24-16 victory. Lamar Jackson, though, still had a pretty decent game, 21 of 30 passing, 223 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Ryan Tannehill went 8 of 16, 76 yards, and 1 interception. So the Titans fall to 2-4 now. Ravens improved to 4-2. Next game up, we have the Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers. Dolphins continue their streak of dominance over teams with a 42-21 victory, improving to 5-1 on the season, and the Panthers fall to 0-6, yet to find a win still. Despite Bryce Young cleaning up the turnovers and having a solid performance that saw him go 23 of 38 passing, 217 yards, and 1 touchdown. Tua Tagovailoa, went 21 of 31 passing, 262 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert also had himself a pretty decent game with 17 carries, 115 yards, and 2 touchdowns as well. The Dolphins have now scored more points than anybody else in the NFL this season, with 223 points scored so far, and they are on track to break the Denver Broncos record for 2013 for the most points scored in the season. Next game, Texans defeat the New Orleans Saints 20-13 to improve to 3-3 on the year. Saints will fall to 3-3 as well. Derek Carr went 32 of 50 passing, 353 yards, and 1 touchdown to 1 interception. CJ Stroud had a pretty decent game, 13 of 27 passing, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns to only 1 interception. So CJ Stroud proving to be the better pick so far out of him and Bryce Young this season, harkening all the way back to the draft. Another really solid performance for the rookie. He's really getting it together, and it seems like the Texans are getting things back on track. The Saints need to do a little bit of figuring out. Alvin Kamara came back finally for this game and had 19 carries for 68 yards, so he's still getting back into the swing of things. And I think once the Saints get it going, they could be a pretty potentially dangerous team to deal with. Next up, the Washington Commanders defeat the Atlanta Falcons 24-16 in what would be Desmond Ridder's first home loss, including college and the pros. Desmond Ridder went 28 of 47 passing, 307 yards, and 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. Sam Howell had a hell of a game. Despite the number of passing yards that he had, he went 14 of 23 passing for only 151 yards, but threw 3 touchdowns on top of all that. But none to Terry McLaurin, who only went 6 receptions for 81 yards, which was very surprising to see out of what supposedly is his top wideout. Falcons fall to 3-3 on the season. Commanders improve to 3-3 on the season. Jaguars beat the Colts in what would decide who would take the charge of the AFC South for at least this week. There's still a lot more football left to play, but week 6, we're starting to get an idea of what teams are good and what teams aren't. And the Colts seem to be one of those middle-of-the-road teams. Despite Minshew's performance last week, he had a pretty ugly performance in this one. The former Washington State University Cougs, go Cougs, went 33 of 55 passing, 329 yards, 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions. Trevor Lawrence, the former Clemson Tiger, went 20 of 30 passing, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. Travis Etienne, though, would have a pretty decent game as he would go 18 carries, 55 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Christian Kirk, 3 receptions, 49 yards, and 1 touchdown. So the Jaguars coming off of back-to-back wins in London and then getting a win at home against the Indianapolis Colts to take charge of the division, improving to 4-2 on the year. Colts fall to 3-3. Seattle Seahawks and the Cincinnati Bengals. It's no secret here that I am a Seahawk fan, and this game heavily disappointed me. Seattle had 5 chances to win the game in the fourth quarter, or 3 chances to win the game in the fourth quarter, 5 chances in total in the second half. Seattle came away with just 10 points in the red zone and it just was an ugly performance from Geno Smith, who went 27 of 41, 323 yards and 2 interceptions. Joe Burrow back to a normal self again. The Bengals keep on rolling on. Joe Burrow would go 24 of 35 passing, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. Kenneth Walker was the offensive bright spot for the Seahawks, 19 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. But Cincinnati would ultimately win this game 17-13. Seattle falls to 3-2 on the year, as we're just coming off their bye week, and the Bengals fall to 3-3. Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears. Minnesota picks up their second win of the year with a 19-13 win over the Bears, improving to 2-4, and the Bears fall to 1-5. And an upset of the week here. The Cleveland Browns defeat the previously undefeated, now defeated San Francisco 49ers in a really close game. The Browns did get a questionable call towards the end of the game that did put them in field goal range. But the Niners, despite all that, had a chance to win the game early or very late in the fourth quarter towards the end of the game, and their rookie kicker missed the field goal. Jake Moody is his name. He missed a pretty chip shot routine field goal, and the Niners will fall to 5-1 despite a strong performance by the Niners. Defense in this one, Brock Purdy did struggle mightily with a 12-27 performance, 125 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. PJ Walker didn't have a very decent game either. He went 18-34, 192 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Or 2 interceptions, not touchdowns. But the Browns would ultimately win 19-17. Browns improved to 3-2 on the season. Niners fall to 5-1. The Raiders defeat the Patriots 21-17. The Raiders improved to 3-3 with this win. Patriots fall to 1-5. Bill Belichick is now officially on the hot seat. Lions beat the Buccaneers 20-6 to have the Lions' best start to a season since the 90s. 5-1 start for the Lions. Buccaneers fall to 3-2 on this one. Goff has another solid performance, 30 of 44, 353 yards and 2 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield goes 19 of 37, 206 yards and an interception. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 12 receptions, 124 yards and a touchdown in this one. The Lions win 20-6 and keep a strong hold on first place in the NFC North. Despite the loss, the Tampa Bay Bucks, coming off of the bye week, do still sit at first place in the NFC South. Rams beat the Cardinals in a very not big blowout, but a pretty solid win for the Rams here, proving to 3-3 on the season. Cardinals fall to 1-5. Rams win the game 26-9. Josh Dobbs has another performance where he tosses a lot of yards, but not a lot of touchdowns. Threw a pick as well. Matthew Stafford went 15 of 24 passing, only missing 9 passes, 226 yards and a touchdown in this one. Bills beat the Giants on Sunday Night Football to improve to 4-2 on the year. Giants fall to 1-5, and now there are questions surrounding whether or not Daniel Jones is the guy in New York after paying him that big money contract after a stellar season he had last year, getting the team to the playoffs. Brian DeBoll has a really big decision to make here once the season is over. At 1-5, the season isn't obviously over. We've seen teams turn it around before, but you gotta wonder, Daniel Jones not even starting anymore. Tyrod Taylor started this game with 24 of 36 passing for 200 yards. Josh Allen went 19 of 30, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Bills trying to get it back on track and only trail by 1 game in the AFC East. Cowboys beat the Chargers on Monday Night Football 20-17. Cowboys get a much needed bounce back win after the bludgeoning that they took against the 49ers. Cowboys improved to 4-2 and now sit 1 game behind the Eagles. Chargers now fall to 2-3, and they are going to need a lot if they want to make ground up in the AFC West. And then the biggest upset of the week, besides the Niners loss, the Eagles are no longer undefeated as well, as the New York Jets beat the Philadelphia Eagles 20-14. Zach Wilson went 19 of 33 passing, 186 yards. Jalen Hurts got outplayed by Zach Wilson despite the minor stat line from Wilson. Jalen Hurts went 28 of 45, 280 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Breece Hall, though, was the bright spot really for the New York Jets, who he had 12 carries, 39 yards, and a touchdown. Garrett Wilson went 8 receptions for 90 yards as well. And also with this one, beforehand, the Jets were 0-12 all time against the Philadelphia Eagles in the 104 year of the National Football League. and are now 1-12 after the 13th meeting between the two teams this past Sunday. And the Jets improved to 3-3 with this win, only 2 games behind the Miami Dolphins. So, as I stated last week, I'm going to be doing these standing recaps. In the AFC, your top teams right now leading their divisions. Dolphins on top of the AFC East, with the Bills trailing behind by 1 game at 4-2. Chiefs at 5-1 with a 2-game lead over the Raiders, who are 3-3. Ravens are 4-2 with a half-game lead over the 3-2 Steelers and 3-2 Browns, and 1 full game ahead of the 3-3 Bengals. Jacksonville 1 full game ahead of the Texans and the Colts with a 4-2 record, while the Colts and Texans sit at 3-2 and a 2-game lead over the Titans at 2-4. In the NFC East, you have the Eagles, who are 5-1, Cowboys in second place at 4-2, Commanders at 3-3, Giants at 1-5. In the NFC West, you have the Niners, who are 5-1, Seahawks are 3-2, Rams are 3-3, Cardinals are 1-5. In the NFC South, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 3-2, Falcons at 3-3, Saints at 3-3, and the Panthers at an abysmal 0-6 start to the season. And the sad part about that is they don't even own their 2024 draft pick if they continue to lose on. The Bears actually own it, and the Bears are 1-5 as of this recording, and the Vikings are 2-4. The Packers are 2-3 in second place, and the Lions, which have been the biggest shocker and like I said, is their best start since the 90s. They are 5-1 and currently tied for the first seed in the NFC. But thank you guys so much for watching this video and listening in on your NFL recap of Week 6. I'll be back next week with Week 7 on time as promised. And if you are new, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We put a lot of hard work and dedication into these videos, and we're just trying to make a name for ourselves. So please hit that subscribe button, tap that bell to get our notifications whenever we drop a new upload. Share the video with your friends and like the video as well. It helps us out a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next week for Week 7.